Hello, hello. Welcome to 1000 Lies, part whatever it is. Last time we had sled disc racing, and now I'm at the nurse's office. Rather than leaving the school through the main entrance, I prefer going out from here instead. It isn't like there's a real nurse here though, so the attendant is actually the groundskeeper. She handles a lot of different tasks, from paperwork to carrying all of the keys. All of them. Every single key. All of them. If you persuade her that you're sick enough, you can take a nap here for a while and sneak out after she leaves. Since she handles so many different things, she won't usually notice if you're gone by the time she comes back. In any case, she doesn't trust anyone, so the nurse's office collects dust more than anything. Then, how do I convince her to stay here? Well, easy. I told her the truth. My leg aches badly. I don't know if I even said that sentence correctly. In my head, I did. I sit on one of the beds and massage my leg from the knee down, hoping it'll lessen the pain. Afterwards, I take out a small bottle of painkillers and stare at it as it sits in my palm of my hand. I decide against opening it and put it back in my pocket. I lay on the bed and close my eyes before I start taking deep breaths until I eventually feel myself get lost deep in thought. The new substitute teacher must be pissed. She may have not seen us do it, but it's just a matter of time until she figures it out. Nobody got hurt, but even I recognize that we went overboard. If yesterday's prank made her angry, I can't imagine how she took this one. I wonder, will they finally punish me this time? After 15 minutes, I feel better. I get up and walk to the window. The nurse's office is on the second floor. First floor. Where did I get second from? So you can climb down into the back field, making it the perfect place to sneak out. I haven't made a habit of it, but this won't be the first time that I've escaped out of the window when I want to play hooky. Let's see. Although it's a small fall, my leg still hurts. Thankfully, it's horrible, but that doesn't change how uncomfortable feeling it is. I'll rest once more when I'm home. Better get going. There's a fence behind the school that separates it from the park. No one goes back there, and the fence has a locked gate that's easy to pick if you're skilled enough. Like me. Once you're in the field, the park is only several steps away. Hop, skip, and here we are again. I made my way through the park into the pond and began writing in my notebook. It's not like I have anything better to do, but you'd think by now I would have learned how dangerous it is to walk around with my face stuffed in my book. Wait, what the heck? Something suddenly hits me in the stomach. Thankfully, it doesn't really hurt. Only knocks the wind out of me a lot. At first, I don't see anything, but when I look down, I find the culprit. Wait. What did I make? That hurts! At my feet, there's a girl with her hands wrapped around her head. At first, I think it's because she ran into me, but then she starts to panic for seemingly another reason. She keeps swatting at the air around her head, and when she realizes there's nothing there, she goes pale. My hat! She gets visibly nervous, her eyes darting around the area. After a moment, she settles on looking at my shoes, or more precisely, what's behind them. None other than her previously missing hat. I bend over to pick it up, brushing the dirt off it as best I can, before handing it back to her. This is yours, right? The girl nods in relief as she reaches out her hands to retrieve her possession. At the last second, I raise my arms and pull the hat out of reach. She seems familiar somehow. Her name is on the tip of my tongue, but nothing comes to mind. I'm positive I've met her before. Yeah, I certainly have. This exact spot. I bring the hat closer to her, watching as her face lights up with happiness. Why am I teasing this poor girl? But I still can't remember who she is. One more time. Move the hat out of her reach and watch her as she automatically grows anxious. How rude. I could do this all day. I could. Finally, I relent and return her belonging. I know better than to tease little girls too much. She gets up and inspects her hat, desperately placing it back upon top of her head, as if her life depends on it. She looks happy. Some people are so easily satisfied. But I still haven't figured out how I know her. Maybe taking a close look will help. She responds doubtfully, staring at me down as she slowly takes 2 steps towards me. Eventually, there's only 1 inch apart from each other. I still can't remember her. It's like I know her, but I can't put a name to her face. Suddenly, she surprises me and breaks the silence with a question. Are you going to keep staring at me like that, or are you going to kiss me already? Dah! I suddenly break the Guinness World Record for backflips, barely managing to stutter anything in response. Kiss you, cat! I wasn't going to. Oh, so it was a staring contest. I won, right? What's my reward? Once she shows me her radiant smile, I remember who she is. That nutcase from yesterday. I think part of me tried to block that event out of my memory. Understandably so. However, I have to admit that I'm pretty curious to know what her deal is. Our encounter yesterday was just so random and weird that I can't help but feel curious. There's no reward, it was no contest in the first place. I just couldn't remember who you were, mysterious girl, why? Mysterious girl, what? X is already taken, it's a long story. Look, it doesn't matter, I was just a misunderstanding. Let's start over again from the beginning. Who are you? What's your name? My name is Claire Aglis. I'm 18 years old, my blood type is B, I'm 4'9" tall, I weigh 97 pounds, my measurements are 25, 20, 27, my favourite colour is silver, and my favourite periodic table element is... tungsten. Oh, good choice, tungsten is my favourite metal. No, wait a second, don't mess with me. What kind of introduction is that? You said you were 18 years old? Are we the same age? Are we in the same grade? I thought you were a kid. How would I know? You haven't even introduced yourself yet. What kind of gentleman refuses to introduce himself to a lady before conversing with her? I totally understand that you're nervous after failing to kiss me, but you have to get over it. Believe in yourself, second time's the charm. I wonder if she's doing that on purpose or if she really is insane. In the end, I decided to introduce myself, pushing aside her weird attempts at cheering me up. Without getting into too much detail, explain what I'm doing here so I can resolve the misunderstanding. If there ever was a misunderstanding in the first place. I know that I should just go with the flow, but I think that it's more probably harmless to observe this odd specimen. After I introduce myself, I try to learn more about her. She quickly responds, and clearly, when I ask her about her studies, she tells me that she's currently studying on the other side, an Ate Institute. That explains how I didn't know her when we're in the same grade and there are only 2 schools in the area. When I ask her what she's doing at the park, however, her attitude changes dramatically. I wanted to skip school, so that's what I did, nothing else. So you're a troublemaker, I see. It suits you. You already have the issues for it. Maybe, but I have my own reasons for it too. The tenderness in her words. Oh, the tenderness in her words. Even after I've mocked her, surprises me. Is this really the same girl from a minute ago? What reasons are those? I already told you, because I wanted to. But you won't believe me, right? The most logical reason would be that I felt too stressed out, controlled, and pressured. And that's why I ran away. Those types of things could easily lead me to do this. Would that answer satisfy you? This isn't why I came here, but it's the conclusion you're going to arrive anyway. So, I don't need to give you any more details. Hold on. If you don't want to answer, then you don't have to. No need to take it so seriously. Everyone has the right to keep their secrets. Is that so? It's obvious that Claire doesn't believe me. What's wrong with her? I don't understand. It's a lot easier when you have a convenient excuse. For example, when someone invites you out but you don't want to go with them, if you tell them that you have work or take a test or go on a date with your sweetheart, then you can get rid of the issue in the blink of an eye. Speak of the devil. Tell me, Sian. Claire takes a deep breath and closes her eyes for a second before casually asking me an unexpected question. Do you want to go out with me? What? Be my boyfriend, my partner, my better half. It wasn't a difficult question. This is the second time she's thrown an inconceivable question at me. What kind of joke is this? What type of joke indeed? We haven't even known each other for 5 minutes before she confesses to me. She seems to be completely serious right now. Her face says that she's not messing around. She sincerely confessed to me. I believe her so much that it's scaring me. I hesitate, stuttering while trying to answer. I have difficulty time looking her in the eyes. I'm too nervous and frightened. Claire then places her index finger against my lips, silently telling me to stop. You took too long to answer, and that's no good. A half-baked answer won't do it for me. After all, to me, the most important thing is that you're truthful. I swallowed deeply while lost in my thought, questioning how difficult it is to decipher her words, or rather, Claire seems to notice my uncertainty, or maybe it's curiosity. She turns around and begins pacing with her hands behind her back. It looks like she's looking for or thinking about something. With a smile on her face, she finally announces her thoughts. I know. Let's play a game as an example. It's pretty simple, so you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Claire in high spirits, more like she was in the beginning of our conversation. I shrug. It isn't like I haven't anything to say about it anyways. Imagine the top of that tree over there. That's there. A nest with the baby birds, and waiting on the top of the rock next to it, a hungry cat. Let's call him Sneezer. Sneezer? Why Sneezer? I don't know, it's cute. Don't you like it? Why are you naming the birds too? Why aren't you, sorry? Giving names to imaginary birds, are you totally insane? I forgot I was talking to for a second. Please, just get on with it before I decide to drown someone in the pot. There isn't much else to say. The question is simple. What do you do? That's a pretty unimaginable question. It's pretty typical. You know, if you scare the cat away and save the chicks, then the cat will die of hunger. If you help the cat, then the bird will die. In the end, you have to choose who dies and who lives. Most people will just let nature take its course, since you can't have everything work out perfectly all the time. It's a circle of life, Simba and stuff. That's the problem though. Aren't you part of nature too? It's easy to forget that when it's convenient for you. If you close your eyes and take the cat with me, then I'd have to do it for everyone. So it's not viable. I can't involve myself anyway, because maybe the cat prefers to live that way. Those are the excuses we make that we can't benefit the most in our end. To make our lives easier. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're only human. There are times when even our selfish decisions is the best one too. But can you accept what comes afterwards? What comes afterwards? That's why I don't plan on explaining myself to you any further, and why I won't accept any half-baked love confessions from anyone. Get it? Next time, try to do a better job. Alright? For some reason, it all seems to make sense to Claire, but I'm not as convinced. I don't know what the hell she just tried to explain to me at all. Some say it's impossible to understand women. The ladies wins first place. Hands down, it's the most complicated. Oh, I gotta go. I forgot my bags in the classroom, and if I don't get them back before the next class starts, I might lose it. Why didn't you bring it with you? And that's what I did. I also switched desks and another guy, so it wouldn't look like I'd left. He isn't guilty of anything, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Isn't that what you just tried to tell me? What are you even talking about? My criminal record, nothing you should pay attention to. To be completely honest with you, I just wanted to get the last word in after your weird tirade. Don't worry about it, Sian. Not everything in this world makes sense. We're already ninja accomplices. Our bond is thicker than blood. You don't have to hide anything from me, comrade. I don't think anybody has to ever go to jail for skipping class, but if they do go after us, I plan on blaming it all on you, comrade. Boo. You were so nice the other day, and now you're acting like this. What a letdown. Sound -50 affection. Don't give up, though. I know you're better than that. Believe in yourself for me. Alright, until next time. Ending our conversation with words of encouragement. Claire starts to walk away. She turns around and enthusiastically waves to me after every couple of steps. So enthusiastic for a goodbye. And I just lost 50 affection. Ugh. Now that I think about it, she said weird things last time too. I may not know what goes on in her head, but I know one thing's for sure. For better or for worse, this probably won't be the last time that I cross paths with her. 1,000 lies. Shwoo! 17 minutes. I'll get going. What was your voice? Come on. I think it was my stereotypical voice. Come on. You knew this would happen. You gave us your word. You have to do it. Yeah, that was it. It'll be a lot of fun. Be positive. Besides, with such a long face, you'll get stuck in all of the doorways. You don't want to get hurt, right? You could at least say something. You're too quiet. What's on your mind? I'm trying to think of a good place to hide a body. You only have to blame yourself to blame for stop moping around. As if we're on a crime show, Ziva came to my house to arrest me. She brought a warrant in the form of a promise. I promised that I'd follow up on the email if I lost the sled desk race. Which brings us to now. I find myself tracking along to the sports centre, unsure of what to do next. Sled desk, sled desk, sled desk! She watched last episode for sled desk. It was fun one. Ziva accompanied me, but Oz couldn't make it for some reason. The point of all this was clearly just to ruin my afternoon. Still, it was my gambling addiction that did it to me. Why can't Oz come up? He's the one I versed. I'm gonna miss you, Oz. Would have been a greater scene with you. After all this, you haven't asked. Are you going to ask me what happened after you ditched class? No, not really. I ditched it for a reason. Everyone imagined that all the tables grew sentient and started to run away. A 3-day suspension for both you and Oz. You're kidding me. That's great, I love it. Yes! Yes! Don't joke about that stuff, woman. Don't you do it. I pulled some strings to find out what the teachers were talking about, and there was a bit of everything. Nevertheless, I, the girl who owes you nothing and never asked for anything in return, came to your rescue and brought the teachers back to their senses. They rescinded my suspension after you spoke to them? I don't believe you. Well, about that. What happened? Hey, don't look that way. Nah, but what are you trying to say? They agreed to go totally easy on you, but I had to barter with them. An insignificant detail, really. I don't like the sound of that. Go on. They said you guys have to learn your lesson, improve your judgment, blah blah blah, you know. So it turns out that they desperately needed students to help them with. Oz and you are now officially the GLAD committee. You two have to help prepare the GLAD events, stuff like that. Wait a second. I see a car going fast enough to kill me. If I jump in front of it, I'll be right back. Don't joke about those kind of things. Jeez. We're all going to graduate soon, and it's completely normal for a student committee to handle GLAD event preparation. You're going to work together with some students from the other side. Both from the other side. I got friends on the other side. But no, the other side, the girl and the other girl we've met. One I went all American on, or British, depending on the accent. Interesting. Both schools have represented, and together the joint committee has to plan and organise all the GLAD events. Nobody from our school volunteered this year, so they decided that it was a convenient punishment. Like the good friend I am, I said I'd join too, so all three of us will be working together. What do you think? Call an ambulance, but tell them to not bring a defibrillator. Let them know they can release my ashes over the ocean. Come on, stop joking around. It'll be fun. All we need to do is figure out what needs to be done for the events, plus each year is more or less the same. But I have to make an effort. It's work outside of school hours. I'll need to actually communicate with other human beings, you know, humans. Are you implying that I'm inhuman? Obvious, yes. You didn't care about getting expelled, but you're worried about having to work. You're such a lazy ass. It reminds me of someone else. Look, being on a graduation committee is going to be tedious. Some students will want one thing and others will want the opposite. You have to try to please everyone. It's too difficult. If there are no alternatives, then I guess I'll have to do it, but I'd rather just change the subject for now. Yeah, change the subject, I see. You know what? I've realized something. I already told you, if I have to join that stupid committee, then I will. No, listen, I'm talking about you. I've realized that maybe that you're suffering from a schizoid personality disorder. Are you making up a diagnosis again? I told you to stop looking at mental illnesses on Wikipedia. You wanted to change the subject, didn't you? Here you go. You don't enjoy socializing, you're detached on a personal level, and your sense of humor is unsympathetic. At first, I thought your writing obsession was a symptom of autism, but you don't seem to have any issues communicating with other people. However, it would make sense if you were a secret schizoid, since they are able to fake social interactions. Also, some schizoids share symptoms with those afflicted with Asperger's. It would make a lot of sense. Are you telling me that I'm autistic? Do you want to fight me or something? Just because I'm different, it doesn't mean that I'm crazy. Correct! You aren't crazy. A lot of psychologists agree that schizoids don't actually suffer from a disorder, but that their behavior is part of their personality. Just because someone acts differently doesn't mean they're suddenly an alien. There are a lot of circumstances in which regular people can end up going crazy, purely from the power of suggestion. The best way to prevent that is to go be confident. There's nothing wrong with acting differently from others or making a mistake. Siva seems pleased with her evaluation. I can only respond in low spirits, but I still have to admit that she's dedicated. That's why you're going to give me your notebook, so I can study it. We have to get it to the heart of the matter. For the rest of the walk to the sports center, Ziva tries to steal my notebook by shoving her hands in my pocket. From the outside, the situation undoubtedly looks like Ziva's trying to tear my pants off. Doesn't help when she yells, "Come on, show it to me." And it'll only be for a moment, let me see. But it isn't as wonderful as it appears, to be honest. I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemies. Oh, wait, Ziv is my worst enemy. In that case, I do wish it. Let's play some ball. Are you ready to rumble? A few minutes later, I stand waiting near one of the basketball courts at the center. It's actually one of those multi-sports courts that provide equipment for the array of different sports. Looks exclusively like a basketball court. At the moment, only a basketball team is training at the center, so I'm left to assume that they're it I'm supposed to join. I speak to the coach, who's under the impression that today I'm observing to decide whether or not I want to join this team. Apparently, they have to pay to train here. It's crazy. Siva gives me a pat on the back and quickly winks before she sits on the bench and plays with her cell phone. Even though she had insisted on coming with me, she ran away so quickly. I don't think I'll ever understand her. Hey, you guy, you're CN, right? One of the team members approaches me before they begin training. Even though he looks up to the task by himself, he asks if I can help him prepare the court. I assume this is what they usually do to try to help integrate new members. Maybe I should do the same and try to break the ice too. So you play basketball with balls, huh? I thought you hit a scale with a bat and watched as the plate soars upwards, based on how hard you hit it. My new teammate is speechless. He looks pretty bewildered. Haha, come on, don't give me that look. I was joking. Everybody knows that's actually soccer. Training has only just started, and I'm pretty sure that my lungs have already begun to collapse. My first impression of basketball is that it's contradictory. Why do they need so many strong, tall men when they can't make contact with each other? The most they allow is a bit of brushing, but you can't so much as poke them. It's not like they're made of glass. I could even accept the rule that if it didn't make defending so hard to do, if an opposing team player has the ball and touches you, you get a foul unless you were standing still. But if you're standing still, then you can't defend your hoop. Isn't that unfair? It doesn't help that I'm bad at offense, but therefore the only thing I can do is defend. I'm new, so cut me some slack here, please. After an hour of training, I feel like death itself is looming over me. Now I'm hobbling around and using my secret skill to develop and make it look like I'm doing something when I'm really not. It's a technique that you can only master once you've become a civil servant or a politician. So, I'm very proud of it. Fortunately, the coach claps to get our attention, asks all of us together in the middle of the court. Thankfully, it means I can take a rest. Ooh. Alright, guys. It's time. We're gonna play a friendly match. Another match. Ugh, the coach really trying to kill me. Shoot, coward. You're only going to kill a man. I organised it in a rush, but since every year we always play against... Oh, they're already here. A coach looks past us all. And I instinctively follow his gaze. Another basketball team casually chats amongst themselves as they enter the court. There's one opposing team member in particular that stands out to me. Don't let him win just because they're girls, okay? I know it's an easy match, but don't start flirting mid-game. Players of the women's basketball team walk over to the team and begin chatting with us. Only one of them refuses to join in, and she's standing in front of me. Her face shows restraint, and her eyes are motionless, wrapped in turmoil. It's Mysterious Girl X. Is that what you wear to a basketball game? They seem like basketball clothes. I think I would have preferred getting shot after all. Ziva, where's the gun?